favorite. Welcome back, friends, to another Vlogmas episode. This is the penultimate episode, so we've got one more on Christmas Day for you just to say thank you and give you some Christmas wishes. But this is the big final push, is making this last bag in our year of bags. So it has been quite an adventure, and I want to thank you for coming along with me this year and all these bags that we made and putting up with my swearing and my mistakes and everything else. So going into next year, we've kind of picked out our tried and true patterns that we're going to be working on. So I'll be working on those. And also, if I'm not making a bag a week, I have a little bit of extra breathing room to do some other things. So we're going to be doing some scrapbooking and some more crocheting. So I have to figure out what my next project's going to be. I finished all the Christmas crocheting. So we're just going to slowly be doing ornaments throughout the year as part of my Craftsman's Guild responsibilities. So we'll work on that. But for right now, I would like a project to do on my 2 weeks off. So I need to figure out what that is. Are we working on the sweater next? Are we going back to that Segway shawl with the bat wings with the new, more vibrant lavender yarn? I don't know. And then I have that other shawl that's almost finished, so I would like to finish that shawl before I start one of the other two projects. We also have our Sunburst Granny Square blanket that needs to be finished for the spring. So I've got about half of them done, and I would like to, ooh, that's a good project for now. I can set up the card table after I'm done wrapping presents. I can use the card table to piece all of those squares together, because I basically ran out of room on my blocking board to put any more of those squares. So we can do that. That's a good project for right now. So I would just love to thank you for being here. Thank you for spending time with me. You know, your time is such a gift, and I really appreciate you being here. And I know that there's a lot going on in December and a lot of Vlogmases. So if you just feel overwhelmed, feel free to save all of these up and binge watch them at any point. They'll be there for you whenever you want. I did a playlist of all of the Vlogmases, so you can just look on my channel under playlists, and there'll be a whole playlist of these, so you can catch up if you have some downtime. Or I know a lot of YouTubers don't film in January, they take January off. So that's a good time if you're jonesing for something to catch up on all those Vlogmases. So don't want you to feel overwhelmed. Okay, so let's take a look at our last pattern. Oh wait, we didn't open up a yarn. Only got a couple left now. Okay. Number 21 is another magenta. I'm feeling a pattern here. Let's take a look at them. I know it's kind of hard to see them now, but you can see that we started out with some blues, and we have some browns and yellows in there, and then we have the large skeins, and now we have some magentas. So I pulled the large skeins out. Do I have one more? I guess there's only 3 of the large skeins. They're very similar in color, but they are different. So those are our 3 large skeins. And I would assume that these go with more of the purples, the browns and yellows, and the blues. I'm gonna have to lay all these out and figure out what order I want everything to go in. But yeah, it's a very pretty mix of colors. I don't know how autumny they all are, but whatever. Okay, so the last bag of the year is going to be the Swoon Denver backpack. Now there's 2 sizes. So there's a large and a mini. I wanted to do the mini, but based on difficult curves and things like that, it might be better to make the large, because that is It's usually easier to sew. So the mini is 12 by 9 by 4 and the large is 16 by 12 by 6. So we might be better off. Let's take a look at how much fabric I need. Okay, 1 yard. So if we went for the large, I would need a half a yard for the exterior, half a yard for 1 yard for the lining, and 1 yard for the contrasting. Now, unfortunately, I only have 2 yards of fabric. What was I gonna do for the contrasting? Oh, we could use vinyl or cork. That's true. So basically for these like side accents and the handles, I could use vinyl or cork for that. Or our corduroy. We did just buy the corduroy. So these are the fabrics that I picked. I've got this super cute fabric with like all these old school bottles on it for the exterior, and this really cool Tula Pink polka dot for the interior. And then we're going to use that with our purple rainbow zipper. So we've got our purple rainbow zipper with our purple hardware. So yeah, super fun. Yeah, I'll have to go see what I have. I do know that I have sparkly vinyl that we could use. I just don't know if the colors are going to go with this. So we will go check that out before we start cutting. Yeah, and super excited to just be done with the year of bags and have all of these new patterns under my belt. We definitely found a few that we will be using in the product line, so that was exciting. So I've pretty much got a good mix of bags to make for the shop and for the craft fairs. Yeah, so that's about it. So if that sounds good to you, please go ahead and make yourself a cup of tea or hot chocolate or coffee and curl up on the couch, get comfortable, and let's make the last bag of the year. Okay, so I've been hemming and hawing. I just watched her video and I think I am going to go with the mini because she said not to do a lot of heavy materials, which means I might still be able to do the cork for the bottom of the bag, and this front connector piece seems like it would be better with the cork, although then I have to really glue the edges down. So I'm still not sure what I want to do there, but it looks like the mini one gives me more options with fabric. So I'm going to do the exterior fabric I think I'm going to do that for the main body of the bag and the back panel. These side panels, I think I'm going to go with the lining fabric for that, and probably the straps and everything as well, just because it's going to be easier to work with than the cork. This bottom piece and these two pieces might be better off with the cork. That just leaves me a nice little cork accent. The only problem is this part's very bulky, and this seam is going to be harder to sew with it being bulky because it's a very tight curve. So I might be better off just using this fabric as the bottom. It is directional, so I have to think about that. Yeah, because these are going to come up sideways, so everything here is going to be sideways. Well, I have to make a decision because I have to start cutting. I feel like I'm just putting off making the bag at this point. It's already after lunchtime. The nice thing is since I have these days off, I don't have to do it all in one day or one weekend. That was like the whole point of doing it this way. So yeah, I think we'll skip the cork. We'll just make it easy on ourselves. And then she's having us do the panel piece, the zipper tabs, a little differently as well. She's having us make these a little bit longer so that the zipper is not in the seam allowance, because it's already going to be a tight thing at that point. And I don't think I'm going to do the foam. I'm going to do the Decoville, just because she was talking about how crazy all these seams are, and the Decoville is going to be better. And we might even just leave the Decoville out of the seam allowance. That would be smart of us. We are back at it, and I don't know if I showed you the most recent book we're listening to, but it's called The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. It's really good. It's a little bit Games of Thronesy. It's got dragons and magic and that kind of thing, but we're talking about different kingdoms that aren't getting along and that kind of thing, and a little bit of spy stuff. So very good so far. I'm really enjoying that. We are back to work, enjoying the vacation a little too much. Gotta get back to making this bag. So we have got our Decoville. I want to keep this out of the seams. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut it the regular size, and then try and cut it down like a ½ an inch off of that. So I don't know how that's going to work out. We'll see what happens. But really it's just 2 pieces of Decoville that I'm doing. Out pretty well. I just went super slow and I used a stiletto, so I think that's the trick there. confusing part here. We're going to take our main panels, of which I have not put interfacing on. Hang on, let's put the interfacing on first. Okay, I think that was the hardest part there. So we've got our pocket on. Yay! And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pinch this so that that lines up there. So let's line up this piece first and work our way up to the tab. And then that tab is gonna be folded down. The nice thing is we don't have to top stitch this piece, so that's good. So this is why we didn't want any bulk in this. We didn't want the zipper coming all the way to the end of the tab because this tab now gets folded and sewn in half. So that's why we didn't want to deal with that. So that's pretty easy. I think the hardest part is just getting these pieces lined up together. I have directional fabric, so it's pretty easy to tell what the top of this little panel was to line it up correctly, but I can totally see how you would mess that up if you weren't using directional fabric. That would be totally easy to mess up. Okay, that worked out pretty well. So I'm just going to do the same thing with the other one. In fact, now that I've done this, I feel like this fabric's a little too contrasting. So maybe I should have just used the bottles for the side pieces as well. It's not perfect, but it's done. I'm just gonna have to punch all these pieces out. This was the worst here, was this bulk right here, and you can even see the stitches are still pulling even with the second line of stitching. So I'm just gonna kind of go around here, get these as flat as I can, and make sure that's all sewn before we sew the lining up. Do a little tape magic here on these pieces just to get everything stuck down. Careful with that, because that just doesn't want to come over very far. Starting to get a sore throat, which is not good because my husband's been sick all week, and I really don't want to be sick for Christmas as I'm cooking for both sides of the family. And I don't want anyone else to get sick. So this will be interesting. Just gonna, well, this is the last project for the year, so after this I can relax. and just crochet on the couch and read my book. This thing's so sticky, but the tape is gonna help me. Okay, so same thing on the sides here. This is the hardest part of the bag. This is the part everybody gets confused about. I don't know what we're doing with these edges. Let me watch the video. We're not worried about the corners, because the corners are technically in, but my corners aren't going to be in all the way. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, my corners aren't going to be in all the way. I'm going to have to use some, fabric fray check on those corners, because that's the only way those are getting down there. Okay, so now we've got our swivel clasp. We're going to kind of sandwich that in the middle, like that. So of course it shifted around on me when I sewed it, which is really annoying. So now it looks like that, and I got a rat's nest on the other side, so I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. I could take that whole thing off and redo this whole piece. I don't know that I'm gonna get it any better looking than that. So we get our fabric tack, not our fabric tack, our fray check, and we're just gonna cover the ends there where I wasn't able to get it tucked under all the way, just so that doesn't go anywhere. I don't want that fraying any more than it is already. Yeah, I'm quite tempted to just take that off and redo the whole piece. I can always do that later if I feel like it's bothering me. Other than that, it's actually a super cute bag. It's just a question of, you know, obviously this is kind of floppy because I didn't use anything that's got, you know, a big amount of stabilizer in it. But it's a good thing it's floppy, because otherwise it would have been impossible to sew this. Okay, so that's our bag, and it just attaches down here like this. And that's it. So very cute. I'll put it on tomorrow when we do our last Advents, so you can see what it looks like. Yeah, I'm quite tempted to redo this tab because I feel like that's just gonna bother me. But I don't know. I don't know that I'm going to get it any better than that on the second try. This is the problem I had with the pattern before, was this little tab thing, which is one of the reasons why I've put off making this bag for so long. It is a very interesting shape, but just a lot of work. Okay, so let's see where we're at. I'm going to give this one a C minus. It's just a little too difficult for me. That actually took us less time than the last bag. So 7 hours and 41. I would actually say that this bag is easier than the last bag, just because all the foam and everything was just kind of killing me. And this is floppier, so we don't have all those layers. But this little tab is what got me on this one. So I'm very happy that I finally made it. I also don't like that when you use directional fabric, this folds over and now is the wrong direction. But c'est la vie. Very excited to be done with the year of bags. So thank you all for joining me, and let's take a look at what this looks like on. in this wind. He's falling over. Oh, there he goes. Yeah.
We got a piper down.
We've got a piper down. A snowman down. Okay, we have our Irish holiday, which is probably my favorite, in our Gnome Sweet Gnome mug. My mom got me this mug last Christmas, and it has been at work this whole time. If you're wondering why you haven't seen it, it has been my work mug all month. Ah, definitely one of the better ones. The other one was the post-party refresh, which we've done. So I chose that one. And we're gonna open up our last two Advents. Just because you're not gonna see me again until Christmas. So we got 23rd is the fourth larger skein. Oh, and that's got the magenta in it. So this one probably goes with that last batch of magenta yarn we got. 24 is not yarn. Ooh, what's that? Jasmine lanolin enriched laundry concentrate. Well, that's very cool. That's probably meant for us to block our project after we're done. And oh, these are a bunch of stitch markers. So we've got a bunch of those, the light bulb stitch markers. Oh, and then a tag. So we can put a tag on our finished project. That's a cute idea for the last bag of the month. That's so much fun. I know I don't need more yarn, but I really love having a yarn advent to open. They're so much fun. So next year I'll try and find a more traditional Christmas one. I have been jealously eyeing Allie's yarn from This Little Wonderful Life. But she's been doing Vlogmas and she has two yarn advents. One is from Homespun House. That one looks beautiful. I would just go out and buy that whole thing after Christmas right now. It's a fade, so it's been going from like bright pink into purples into blues into greens, which is very similar to my Aurora Borealis calendar from last year. So maybe I shouldn't get it. And then the other one is, what's the other one? Lambkin yarn? Green Lambkin yarns. So she's doing one too, Christmas Around the World. So they're all very different colors. So that one looks fun too. So I'll have to keep a note of those two companies for next year's Christmas. My sister did one, it was a 12-day one that was murder mystery themed. So it was an Agatha Christie book and you got a clue with each yarn. And it turned out to be Death on the Nile. So she figured it out by the end of it. And those were really pretty colors too. So all great ideas for next year. I do already have a Christmas blanket, so I don't know that I would need like a Christmas themed one, but I don't know. Maybe a tweed one would be nice. And the other thing we still have to do is do our nails. My nails just keep chipping. I think what I will do is I will make all the food first and then put the nails on. So we've got these cute nails. Super cute for Christmas. Oh, and that's about it for me. Of course I got sick. So I'll be dealing with that over the holidays. Never fails. Good thing is we got the last bag of the year done. So all I have to do is wrap presents and work on my crochet. So I can take it easy and relax and yeah, do everything we need to do. So we're hosting my family on Christmas Eve, and then we're driving down to his family for Christmas and spending the night and everything. So it'll be a whirlwind. And then I've got the whole next week to recover. So what you will see, besides this video, I will have one more video on Christmas for you, a little Christmas message and poem. And then on next Saturday, you'll be seeing a year in review. So we'll just kind of go through all the bags we did this year and talk a little bit about them and talk about future plans for the channel. I feel like I'm talking a mile a minute. Okay, so thank you for coming on this journey with me. If you've been here since the beginning of the year, thank you for putting up with all of the swearings and the oh no's and the mistakes. Hoping not to make a lot of those next year as we know better what we're doing and what we're making. So yeah, I leave those in for reality, you know, authenticity, but not my favorite thing to mess up and put that out there on the internet. So thank you for sticking with me, and hopefully you get a little giggle when you figure out what I'm messing up. A little, what's the word for that? The German word. Editing Heather will insert the German word here. Schnasselfraut or something. I can't remember what it is. But when you get enjoyment out of other people's suffering or pain, there's a word for it. Okay. The last bag of the year. The last bag of the year. It's so cool. I love this fabric. Kind of wishing that I had just done the blue fabric on the sides here, because this is kind of cray-cray. It's very loud. So I wish, you know, all the pictures I saw were of people doing these out of a different fabric, but I think it's just such a different fabric. If it was a solid, maybe. And then we have our backpack handles and our little thing here. So we've got the connector piece, and if we take that apart, then it pulls up and we've got this big kind of opening here. And we open this up, we got a big person side with no pockets. So one thing I would have done differently is I would have either put a pocket back here that you could put your cell phone in, or a pocket on the inside, because I like keeping my lip gloss and stuff like that in a pocket on the inside, and my pills and stuff. So I have that in one of the side pockets, but I don't think that's a great place to put them, because when these pockets open, they open, you know. So we've got our bottle fabric in there. So all in all, if I would say this is an intermediate to advanced pattern, this bottom thing was really difficult. That was probably worse than the side pockets, although the side pockets, everything's a curve with this bag, so it's just kind of difficult. But this bag was easier than the messenger bag, mostly because I really went step by step. I watched Jess's video, I paused, I did that step. So I really was heavily concentrating on not messing up this bag, because I had built it up as such a difficult pattern in my head. And the messenger bag, my brain was just out to lunch, and I had a step-by-step tutorial video and I did not follow it, so that's all on me. I don't think that pattern would have been as difficult had I not messed those things up. Okay, so let's stand up and take a look at this on. Okay, so we got our backpack straps. put that on. And there we go. Super cute. Super cute.